Hi, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. No matter how you are tuning in, my name is Lauren Weaver. I'm the Dean of Counseling and Student Services here at Heritage High School.
And I'm Tiana Reed, the Dean of Students here at Wakefield High School.
And we want to welcome both schools today to learn lots of important information about financial aid and the financial aid process. We have with us our financial aid counselor, Miss Susan Waldrum, and she works with students at Heritage on Tuesdays and with students at Wakefield on what day?
It's on Thursdays. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Okay, so without further ado, Miss Waldrum.
Good morning, good evening. I'm Susan Waldrum, and I'm the financial aid advisor, as these ladies have told you, at both Heritage and at Wakefield High School. And I'm here to give you some information this morning about financial aid. You can make appointments with me in person at both schools. I am at Heritage on Tuesdays from 9 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm at Wakefield on Thursdays, 9 to 2. You can make appointments to see me through the secretarial staff in student services. So without further ado, let me give you a little information about college and selecting a college. The first thing you want to think about in selecting a college is academic preparation. Will this school prepare me for the future that I want? Number two, affordability. Can I afford this school? And can I afford it for 4 years? 3, sociability. What kinds of opportunities will be available to me outside of the academic arena? Things like intramurals, clubs, groups, sports, internships, travel abroad, a lot of things that you will find out more about as you attend. And the third category is location. How far away from home do you want to go? And some of you want to stay closer to home. Some of you want a 2-year school. Some of you want a 4-year school. Some of you want trade and technical education. Some of you want to go far away to school. Those are, of course, going to be line item expenses within your college budget. So let's take a look at FAFSA and why FAFSA stands for the free application for federal student aid. And I'm going to emphasize that first word as free. Do not go to any FAFSA.coms. They will charge you money to fill out a free application. Go to FAFSA, FAFSA.gov. There is a reason why everyone should fill out a FAFSA. FAFSA allows you to apply for federal aid, state aid, institutional aid, and colleges and institutions will determine eligibility based on need. If you have not filed a FAFSA with them, they have no idea of what your financial needs might be. The states have no idea what your financial situation is. So it's very important. This FAFSA sort of becomes the clearinghouse document for all aid, with the exception of outside scholarships. Okay, this presentation will tell you what to expect and how to apply for FAFSA. Next. The free application for federal student aid, I've given you here the website, www.ed.gov/student aid. For general inquiries, you can dial 1-800-433-3243. And then there is a FAFSA web page. Here's my contact information and my email address, as well as the times and days. To make an appointment, contact student services at your school. You may sign up for an in-person appointment at 30-minute intervals between 9 and 1:30 is my last appointment. If you and your parents are coming, you might want to block off an hour's time for your appointment. Leaving your contact information with the secretarial staff, technical staff, and student services. You will need to leave your Wake County email. Your mask is required, and you will need to leave your cell phone number. The same is true for your parent. We will ask you for parent information and a parent phone number. Please make certain that you do not miss your appointment. If you must do so, be sure to take your name off the appointment list in student services because these appointments are filling up. Make certain that you have and review the documents that you need to sign up for your FAFSA, which will be on the senior section of your school's website. Generally, you will need to have your driver's license. You will need to know your social security number. You will need to know email addresses, and those are outside private email. Do not use your Wake County email address. Next. Some important terms that you need to understand as you go through the FAFSA process. Of course, we said FAFSA stands for the Free Application for Federal Student Aid. EFC is expected family contribution, and this is a number that you will receive once you have filled out your FAFSA and submitted it. It can be a little cryptic to decide what this number is, but it's written in 6 digits. So, for example, you might receive an expected family contribution of 004500. And that would mean that your family's expected family contribution, the amount of money that they deem your family can afford to pay, would be $4,500. SAR, S-A-R, is your student aid report. This is all the information that goes into your FAFSA. My advice would be to download a hard copy of the student aid report and keep it, because you will need it as you progress through your education. It will help you in filling this out the next time. Award letters are generated by the college or university or trade or technical school, and these detail the amount of the award you will receive. You will be apprised of any grants, any work study money, any loans that might be available to you, as well as the amount of money that they will expect you to come up with. Grants are money that you do not have to pay back. Scholarships are money that you do not have to pay back, and scholarships are given to students who meet certain qualifications based on merit, talent, athletic ability, and need. Scholarships can come from outside sources such as groups, clubs, organizations, churches, employment, as well as scholarships that are generated by the university itself. Work study is money paid to students for doing work on campus. Work study is excellent. There's a little box on the FAFSA that said, are you interested in being considered for work study? I tell students always check that yes, because you won't be considered if you do not. Work study jobs are good jobs. You can work up to about 20 hours a week. They're generally paid at minimum wage. And I like work study because it is money that is flex money. All other monies go directly to paying room, board, and tuition and fees. Work study money you can use in a variety of ways. You can use it to pay interest on your loan. You can use it against room, board, and tuition. You can use it for spending money, or you can use it for books and supplies. So work study money is flexible. Loans. Let's talk about loans. Loans are money that you must pay back with interest. The federal government offers loans in the Direct Stafford Loan Program of $5,500 a year, and very often this is divided into 2 categories. It is divided into subsidized loans and unsubsidized loans. Subsidized loans, the interest is paid on those until graduation. So they're kind of free of interest until you graduate. Unsubsidized loans, you pay the interest as you go, or it will balloon and accumulate at the end. My advice would be never to do the latter. Next. What are you involved with your COA, cost of attendance, tuition and fees, room and board, books and supplies, and incidentals? Room and board is the only one that is generally a little more flexible here in terms of where you select as a dorm to live in and the type of meal plan that you select. Tuition and fees. Let me just say one thing about the fees. They can include a health insurance package. If you are covered with health insurance under your parents' plan, you do not need to use that line item as a fee. Incidentals can include mostly spending money, transportation costs, etc. Eligibility for financial aid. These are the requirements that you must meet in order to be eligible for financial aid. First of all, you must demonstrate a need. That would be a financial need. You have to have a high school diploma. Many of you will either be graduating in December or you will be graduating in June of 2022. You must be enrolled in an eligible program for financial aid. All of the state universities and colleges and community colleges are all involved and all eligible. You must be a U.S. citizen. You must have a valid social security number, and you must complete a FAFSA. All males must register with the Selective Service. If you are not registered, there's a little box that you check on the FAFSA that allows you to auto-register right there. You must have no recent conviction for illegal drugs while receiving financial aid. This is just an example of what the FAFSA page looks like. You can either go to Start Here or you can go to Log In. Start Here is where you have never begun to fill out a FAFSA. If you have begun to fill out a FAFSA, it auto saves, and you want to come back to it, go to the little box that says Log In. How to apply. FAFSA opens every year on the 1st of October. You must apply for a FAFSA ID for yourself and one parent. I'm going to repeat that, yourself and one parent. Go to fsaedu.gov for your ID. You will create a username and a password for yourself, and one parent will create a username and a password. Keep the username and password in a safe and secure place. My advice is take a screenshot of it, save it to your phone, but also write it down. I advise students and parents to have a folder for my financial aid information and write the parent username and password down as well as the students. You only will use those once a year. This username and password allows you to do two things. You can exit and return your FAFSA document, as well as this becomes the electronic signature in submitting the document. In order to get an FSA ID, you will need your social security number, date of birth, email addresses, and the most recent tax information. This gives you just an idea of what that first page looks like with the username. Your username in many, many cases can be the first initial of your first name and your last name. And if this doesn't work for you, so for example, if you're Susie Jones and you just put S. Jones, well, there are going to be a lot of those. So you might want to use your middle initial. And it's, let's say Susie Jones' middle initial is a P, then she becomes S.P. Jones. If that doesn't work, add an asterisk or some character to the end of it, but they will let you know if your username works or not. Your password must be unique. It must be between 8 and 30 characters in length. It should have uppercase letters, lowercase letters, numbers, and a special symbol. Applying for FAFSA. Fill out the FAFSA online going to fafsa.gov. You will use the most current year's 1040 tax information. So for example, this 1040 information that you will use for this year's FAFSA will be the 2019 taxes. It is always prior year. That would be 2020 taxes. It's always the prior year. You will receive a confirmation that your FAFSA has been processed. Scroll through the entire confirmation page. Download a hard copy of this, as you will receive information as to your eligibility here for grants, loans, etc. This is eligibility. This does not mean you automatically will receive it, only that you are eligible. Download a hard copy of all this for your records and keep it. You will also receive here your EFC, that expected family contribution. This is a very important number, and we'll discuss how that works in just a moment. Opportunities. Here again, in financial, in considering your financial needs, look for outside opportunities. Look at various state, local, and private scholarship and grant opportunities. Apply for any and all for which you are eligible, and be aware of deadlines. If there's anything that you need to be super aware of this year, it's the deadlines for all kinds of things, but the deadlines for scholarships are very important. Make certain that colleges and universities to which you're applying have all the information that they need to process your application. My advice is that after you have submitted your FAFSA, you will list within the FAFSA the different schools where you want your information sent. Wait a couple weeks and then contact those schools. Ask them, number one, do you have all my information that you need to process my award? And number two, when might I receive it? Next. Wait for your award letters. It seems like a long time between October, November, and March, but be patient, enjoy your senior year. These award letters are sent out in March, and they will detail the types of financial aid that the college or university will extend to you based on your FAFSA eligibility. As you receive award letters, compare the amounts. Select which of these that you want. And just because you are offered an award does not mean you have to accept it. You can decline certain awards. For example, if you do not want to accept a loan, you will be given an opportunity to decline that. This is an example of the awarding process, and I've divided this into 3 different levels of colleges or universities or trade and technical schools. Number 1 is Affordable U. It's usually a community college or trade and technical school. Number 2 is a public university on the state level. And number 3 is a private college or university. The cost of attendance, that COA, well, let's say Affordable U is $3,000. This particular student received a Pell Grant of $1,000, a scholarship of $500, work study money of $500, and that student's EFC is $1,000. So we're going to subtract those figures from the $3,000. So that adds up to the $3,000 plus the cost of attendance. So this student's actual funds to attend the school are $0. Let's look at a public university. On the average, about $15,000. I think it's gone up more than that. The student received a grant here of $2,000, scholarship money of $7,500, work study money of $2,500, and the EFC amount again remains the same no matter which type of school he attends, of $1,000. So the cost of attendance here, if you subtract the $2,000, the $7,500, and the $2,500 from the $15,000, you're going to get an amount So this student's cost of attendance will be $3,000. So his additional funding, other than his EFC, is going to be $2,000. Private schools, they have deeper pockets, but they also have higher costs. This is $50,000. Here he got a grant of $8,000, a scholarship of $25,000, work study of $5,000, and then his EFC still remains the same at $1,000. His cost of attendance in addition to his EFC is $11,000, so it will cost him $12,000 to attend this school. Again, circling back around, in selecting a college, base it on academics. Does the institution offer courses and a major that you want to prepare you for a post-college career? Affordability. Can you afford this college or university? Social aspects, and this is important, particularly if you're going away to school. Does the college or university meet your social, demographic, and physical needs? Location. Do you like the geographic location and the climate and the accommodations? Want to say one more thing about loans. Be extremely careful with them. When you're looking at loans, consider debt to income ratio. Coming back up to what I said about academics, think about what a career might be entry level. So let's say a student is majoring something that his first entry level job would be $40,000. He or she should not have borrowed any more than that over a 4-year period, or the debt income ratio will be askewed or off. Probably should have borrowed only $20,000 over the 4 years, and that is a decent debt to income ratio, and the student can easily repay that. Please do not think that you're going to get away without repaying these loans, because whether your loan comes from a federal loan or whether it comes from private sources, you will still be required to repay it. Again, select your college or university or post-high school education carefully. It's extremely important for your future. We thank you so much. Please contact us. I will be around to classes to give out further information on this, and I will come into your English classes both this semester and second semester. Thank you. Have a great senior year preparing for your post-high school education.